during cross-examination, they showed text messages where Cassie was like, I'm always ready for a freak-off. I love these freak-offs. I'm whatever, whatever. Do you feel on some level that Cassie really enjoyed it and really liked it, and maybe certain times she didn't? To me, it doesn't seem like she was being forced every time.
Right.
What do you think, based on being around them?
I think it was drugs.
In today's deep dive, we uncover some of the most shocking and jaw-dropping moments from Roger Bonds' time with the music mogul Diddy. Over the years, Diddy has been known for his larger-than-life persona, but behind the glitz and glamour, there are stories that reveal a much darker, more intense side of the industry. Roger takes us inside the tension-filled moments with 50 Cent, one of hip-hop's most notorious feuds, where a simple disagreement could escalate into a confrontation, and reveals what really went down during their interactions. But it doesn't stop there. Roger also opens up about the infamous incident where Diddy allegedly slapped none other than Drake, a moment that shocked the entire music world. Was it truly a matter of rivalry over a beat? Or was there something deeper at play? Roger sheds light on the intricate dynamics of the industry's biggest names and the undercurrents of competition, power struggles, and the fragile egos that drive them. From the ever-changing relationship between Diddy and 50 Cent to the unpredictable moments involving some of hip-hop's most iconic artists, Roger shares first-hand accounts of these explosive incidents. Get ready for an eye-opening ride behind the curtain of one of the most fascinating periods in hip-hop history, as Roger opens up about what he witnessed and experienced during these intense, high-stakes situations. Roger gives insight into the drugs and how they might have influenced Cassie's feelings and actions. It's clear from his description that drugs played a huge role in these encounters, which weren't always consensual. Roger even hints that Cassie's emotional state might have been altered by substance use, complicating the whole situation.
It's about the amount of drugs that they was doing. So you probably doing it to get to that point where you really don't care or you really do enjoy. So if I had to answer it, I would say depending on how much drugs they did, I think it was times that she really did enjoy it.
Roger recounts a tense moment when Diddy threatened to walk up to 50 Cent and punch him in the face. Imagine the energy in the room, with everyone unsure of how this would go down, and Roger trying to de-escalate the situation. Was it just talk? Or did Diddy actually intend to do something about his beef with 50?
I know that some of that shit is true because I heard him say that shit before.
Now, 50 Cent's baby mother, Daphne Joy, was mentioned. And I know that she was hanging around Puff. Was that after you left?
Yeah, that was after.
So you never saw her?
Nah,
Okay.
nah.
Got it.
Him and Puff always had that off and on type of situation. We almost had a fight at the MTV Awards and all that stuff.
Okay, so he mentions this. I remember I mentioned this to Tony Ayo when he was on my show last week.
Right.
So I guess at one point there was some sort of friction with 50 Cent, and it was at the MTV Awards.
Right.
And I guess they were talking, and Diddy was like, I don't like that all that back and forth stuff. I like guns.
Roger Bonds found himself in the middle of some of the most heated moments in Diddy's career, and during one particularly intense standoff, he was right there, trying to make sense of it all. In a high-tension situation, Diddy was on the verge of making a huge mistake, one that could have led to disastrous consequences. But Roger wasn't just a bystander. He was the one pulling Diddy back from the brink, attempting to de-escalate the situation before things spiraled out of control. The question remains, how did Roger manage to convince Diddy to change his mind in that pivotal moment? With so much at stake, was it sheer persuasion, or did Roger have to go above and beyond to prevent a public altercation? In this segment, Roger opens up about the pressure, the power struggles, and how he navigated the storm to keep things from escalating any further.
Okay.
Do you remember that conversation?
I don't remember that conversation because him and 50 went off to the side, but I remember it was just me and Diddy there. And it was Yayo and a bunch of dudes from Queens sitting there, and it was 50, and Puff was like, yo, I'm just going to walk up on him and punch him in his face. And
wait.
Yeah.
Puff said he's going to walk up on 50 Cent and punch him in the face.
Yeah, he said, I'm just going to punch him in the face. And I said, yo, what are you talking about? He said, yo, ain't that your man? Ain't that your man? He said, man, go talk to your man. I said, yo, hold up, B, because he knew me and Yayo was tight.
Hold on.
Let me see
if I get Yayo on the phone real quick. Hold on a sec. I got to.
Even as Roger tried to talk some sense into him, Diddy's confidence didn't waver. Roger knew it would take more than just words to prevent things from escalating. But Puff, being Puff, had a different perspective. Here's how the conversation played out.
I try to get Yayo on the phone.
Yeah,
just to get his reaction to this.
So I try to talk some sense in Puff head, because the other people that was around is just crash dummies. Whatever Puff say do, they do. Me, I'm thinking about the repercussions. So I said, no matter how tight me and Yayo is, you punch his man in the face, all of them niggas is getting up.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just me and him. So I said, yo, B, you can't do that, man. I said, yo, it's just me and you here. He said, what, you scared? You scared? I said, nah, I ain't scared. I said, I'm just telling you that don't make no sense. So him and 50.
Despite the tension, Roger's calm intervention seemed to work. They calmed down, and what was almost a full-blown confrontation fizzled out. But as the situation diffused, it was clear that Diddy's world was full of drama, where even the smallest interactions could turn into major issues.
And then after about 10 minutes of them talking, he said, all right, come on, yo, let's go. And then Yayo came up, and me and him started talking, and he told Puff, yo, you know who you got with you? He was like, yeah, I know. Woo, woo. And that was the end of that. Because that was like a conversation and a beef and a problem that was over my head. Yeah, it was there because we bumped into him. But I know that they talk on the phone all the time, or they deal with stuff a different way. And then it was times when we got together and they act like they was hunky-dory. So I really didn't know what was going on with them. It was an off and on type thing.
In reflecting on the ongoing back and forth between Diddy and 50 Cent, Roger highlights just how unpredictable their relationship was. They'd beef 1 minute, then act like nothing happened the next. What was really going on behind the scenes?
And they act like they was hunky-dory, so I really didn't know what was going on with them. It was an off and on type thing.
Yeah. When I mentioned the whole gun thing to Tony Yayo, I don't like to go back and forth. I got guns. Tony was like...
One of the most infamous moments Roger Bonds recalls is the shocking incident where Diddy allegedly slapped Drake, a moment that sent shockwaves through the entire music industry. The question on everyone's mind: what could have possibly sparked such a dramatic altercation? Was it really just a dispute over something as seemingly trivial as a beat? Or was there more to this confrontation than meets the eye? In this jaw-dropping segment, Roger takes us behind the scenes to reveal the tension that led to this explosive incident. He reflects on the details of what went down that night, sharing his perspective on how a simple disagreement might have escalated into a physical confrontation. What pushed Diddy to that point? Was it something deeper than the beat? Or was it just a case of emotions running wild? Let's dive into the full story as Roger uncovers the layers of the incident and offers his first-hand account of the shocking encounter that changed the dynamic between two of hip-hop's biggest names.
Remember how 50 of them used to wear the bulletproof vests on stage?
Yeah.
And so forth? I remember being in G-Unit offices. This was about maybe 2004 or so.
Okay.
And, I would show up with my camera. This was when I was a DJ and I was doing DVDs. And I remember Tony Yayo walks into G-Unit offices, takes off his jacket, and he had a bulletproof vest on, just walking around.
Right.
This is not a stage prop.
Right.
This is not for entertainment. Yayo was really wearing a vest.
Right. That's when they was beefing with Jimmy Henchman.
With Jimmy Henchman. Because remember, his Bentley got shot up.
Right.
So
Roger elaborates on the circumstances around the Drake slap over a beat dispute. Diddy didn't want the beat, but when Drake made it a hit, that's when Puff got upset. It was all about control, as usual. Diddy may be known for his smooth moves and business acumen, but Roger reveals another side of him, the fighter. Even when up against people much bigger than him, Diddy didn't hesitate to take them on.